Our next teller, told today with Storyteller's Mosaic, this is Marjorie Conn.
The tiny dog named Jojo and his nicknames. Once upon a time, there was a tiny old dog who was blind and deaf. Through a strange set of circumstances, he went from a kill shelter to Eve's home. Now, before Eve adopted this tiny dog, she was told he was a little love bucket. Some love bucket. This tiny dog bit Eve every time she tried to touch him. Now, the tiny dog's name was Jojo, but because he was deaf and couldn't hear when his name was being called, Eve nicknamed him Jaws. That's because the tiny dog never broke Eve's skin when he bit her, only the blood vessels beneath her skin. For a tiny dog, he had some powerful jaws. And Eve had to pick him up and take him down a flight of stairs because he was blind, and Eve didn't want him to fall down the stairs and hurt himself. Sometimes Eve would hold a piece of salami in her hands before picking him up, but all the tiny dog did was grab the meat and then bite Eve even harder. Well, Eve had some colorful rainbow hands with many, many black and blue and red and purple and yellow and green sore spots. Eve also took Jojo to an enclosed dog run in a park where he could wander safely, sniffing everything, and he seemed to like that. And life went on this way for about 6 months. And then one day, when it was time to leave the dog park, Eve went to pick up the tiny dog, anticipating another bite. But the tiny dog wagged his tail and licked her hand. And on that day, Eve nicknamed him her Helen Keller dog, because on that day, this tiny, blind, old, and deaf dog understood that touch meant love. And the tiny dog never bit Eve again.